Chapter 13. Brutal. Uh-oh. It's the next day. That was like the other Suoh popping up, you know? Trying to slowly take over. Or not, it wasn't really like taking over, but he was actually literally talking to himself, basically, the sickness within him. Oh god, that was really freaky. Tuesday morning, November 8th. Jumping headfirst into our work for the day, Misa and I met up at our usual rendezvous point half an hour ago, immediately paving the way to our first targets for the day. We decided to start by checking out the eloping couple, since they live further away, and to then stop by the home of Kunal on the way back to my place. Our goal was one quick reconnaissance, aimed at scouting our targets' homes, deciding where and how to kill our targets, and making sure there were no nasty surprises waiting for us. First up, the home of Mark Crane, former best friend of one of our clients. He lives alone, has never been married, and doesn't seem to have any family nearby. A few houses away lives Camelia Mendez, the wife he charmed. She's living alone in a large single-story house, no husband inside, no kids, and no other family members to watch out for. Perfect. 2 targets ripe for the picking. Upon reaching Crane's home, Misa produced a piece of wire from within her jumper, bending it and rattling the wire around inside of the lock on his back door. She made quick work of the lock, gaining us easy access without needing to break in, then slowly entered the home, taking caution that we might not be alone. I followed close behind Misa, confident by this point that our target wasn't there. He was supposed to be at work, and there were no signs of life within the house, giving the two of us a chance to breathe easy. No alarm, no guard dogs, no unexpected guests. So far, so good. Though, considering the mess, I wouldn't be surprised if Crane had a pet or two he forgot about here somewhere. Of course, aside from being a slob, I'm really not picking up anything noteworthy from this guy. Certainly nothing to suggest that he's a threat. Is it even worth looking around this place further? Of course, we're gonna keep looking around. Better to be safe than sorry, I guess. I wouldn't want to overlook something important. You need to be thorough with your investigation, right? With your, just to make sure there are no weird surprises. We even mentioned it before. We don't want to have any unforeseen complications that might happen or might interfere with our possible. Even though the kill might seem easy and clean, there are things that you just cannot expect or cannot predict that are going to happen. So you know, better to be safe than sorry indeed. Despite the mess in his living room, the rest of Crane's house looked fairly clean. There were no more empty food containers, dishes, or anything else noteworthy lying about on the floor. Maybe the living room is Mrs. Mendez doing. I could understand if... Misa, what's wrong? Point. Tripwire. I took a closer look at where Misa was pointing, only then noticing what had caught her eye. Is that... Tripwire, huh? I wasn't expecting that. Perhaps Mr. Crane was anticipating the arrival of his girlfriend's husband? Even if he isn't expecting any killers to show up on his doorstep, a disgruntled husband is a safe bet in this scenario. Either way, we may have to exercise more caution than I thought. This guy is already proving to be more dangerous than our previous targets. Misa and I stepped over the tripwire and continued to the end of the hallway, thereafter wandering towards Mr. Crane's bedroom. Oh my god. What if we just open the door and like a huge axe is gonna fly towards us? Like, it just seems like those kinds of tricks is what this guy is pulling, you know? Tripwire, it's like freaking Home Alone or something, even though he's not alone, and meaning that he's not alone either. So yeah, but the traps and everything still kind of are the same, I guess. The moment I stuck my head through the door, however, I froze at the sight before me. No matter how I looked at it, this is the uniform of someone who served in the military. That isn't to say he wasn't necessarily involved in any fighting, of course. He might very well have been a computer specialist or had some other non-combat role. Even so, to find out this late that Mr. Crane was, and potentially still is, in the military, this guy could be more dangerous than we thought. See, it's good that we checked even further. Satisfied with what we had learned about our first target, Misa and I walked back through the house, making sure we didn't leave anything out of place. We left through the back door, locked it behind us, and went on our way. I suppose that means it's time to pay Ms. Mendez a visit. After a 2-minute walk, Misa and I arrived at the home of our second target. I may have been a little bitter at first, but right now, I'm definitely thankful that Misa chose our targets for us. There's no way I would have noticed how close together these two live, and having two targets within walking distance of one another will without a doubt boost our productivity. As we reached Mrs. Mendez's house, Misa once again attempted to pick the lock on her back door. Huh? What's wrong? Uh-oh. Without crying her tools, Misa pushed the door open, which had been unlocked since before we arrived. Oh, that's not good. The door was already open? Now this is going to be an easy job. No. Oh, fuck. I knew something has happened. Oh, God. In a similar state to Mr. Crane's living room, Miss Mendez's home was a mess. It wasn't all rubbish. Some of the mess appeared to be from a marital spat, judging by the state of things. Nonetheless, to leave her own living room in such a state, I had little doubt that Miss Mendez was the one polluting Mr. Crane's living room. Misa tugged on my shirt, pointing to something interesting she found. A baseball bat? Well, I suppose the husband did ask us to be brutal. It's nothing. I'm satisfied here. Do you want to keep looking around? In that case, let's move on to our next target. I don't know, it kind of seems more like a break-in, right? Although, I guess there would have to be evidence of the break-in, which it wasn't really, because the door was open, and I don't think we saw any forced way of entry inside the house. After only a few minutes in each house, Misa and I set off in pursuit of our third target for the week. We headed back towards my house by bus, stopping a few streets away, and opting to walk the rest of the distance. Like so, Misa and I approached the home of Kunal, our final target of the week. Although he's the easiest to access, Kunal is the only one with a violent crime attached to his name, as far as we know. He's armed with a pistol at the very least. There's no telling what kinds of toys the money he stole from Karasu has bought. Worse, he's also detailed as being mentally unstable. While the file didn't name a specific disorder, his violent outbreak and history paint a rather disturbing picture. Finally, he has no specific schedule anymore, meaning we have no way of knowing when he'll come and go. He isn't someone we can approach carelessly. Oh my god, why? What the heck? Like, look at the windows there. On the bright side, Kunal's proximity is rather refreshing. He lives close enough to my current home that the area feels similar. His apartment is one of many within the large complex. There is no security to speak of, and the rent is no doubt dirt cheap. Target aside, this feels like an easy job. However, while those facts might make my job easier, it's worrying to think about the ramifications for the other people living here. Cheap or not, living adjacent to a criminal like Kunal is a risk ordinary people shouldn't have to take. If it weren't for my lucky break, I'd probably be living here myself, racking my brain with worry over giving Sara a safer home. Even though I may have dodged that bullet, there are still other people living here, no doubt worried for their loved one's safety. The least I can do is make their lives a little safer. Misa walked ahead of me to Kunal's apartment, immediately recognizable by the broken glass and black goop on the window. What is the black goop? we saw it kind of, I'm not saying that it's the similar black goop that we saw like on Suoh's face earlier at the end of the previous video, but it's something reminiscent. I almost feel that there might be a connection there somewhere, because that was really weird. It was like black goop coming out of his mouth, and now it's also present here. What the hell is that? Misa moved away from the window as I closed in for a better look. No sooner had I done so than I regretted my action. Oh, what? Inside the room was a man hanging from a ceiling fan. His physical features matched those of our target, and the apartment in which he was hanging bore the room number listed in his file. In all likelihood, the hanging man was our target, Kunal. Oh god, is that him? Kunal offed himself in his own home, surrounded by whatever that shit is? No, it's too early to say that for sure. No, that's not true. Why would there be a break-in into his home then in the windows? Unless someone looked into his window and saw like, oh wait, he's dead, he hung himself. I'm gonna break into his house and steal the shit that he has. That's the only possibility as to why he would hang himself, and there would be like his windows broken. But what are those black stuff around it? Logically, it should be him, but I can't be totally sure from out here. I can't even be certain that he isn't breathing without closer inspection. Oh, what the fuck. No matter how I look at this, I need to inspect Kunal's corpse more closely. But do I really want to go in there? Well, I don't really have a choice, do I? Go check it out together, I guess. We've come this far. It's only natural that we see this through. The interesting thing about that is that we were given a choice, but there was only a choice between one option, right? Making it not really a choice. But I think this might be dependent on some of the earlier options that we did. Like, for example, one that kind of feels similar was perhaps the one with our second target, where we went together with Misa. If we perhaps did things alone there rather than together with Misa, we might have the option here of doing it alone and perhaps going together. So it could be that this option, it was supposed to be like a dual option in some occasions, depending on your previous choices. Because otherwise it just makes no sense, right? Otherwise there's no need for there to be an option if there's only one choice. We've come this far. It's only natural that we see this through. Let's go inside, Misa. Misa doesn't like. I know. I don't want to go in there either. But we need to make sure he's dead. We assumed he was dead. Won't be good enough for your father, will it? With little more resistance from Misa, the two of us went inside. God, this place is even more disgusting up close. Mr. and Mrs. Adultery could have taken lessons from Kunal. Dust inches thick. Fungus on the walls. Oh, is that black stuff fungus? Sticky black goop all over the floor. The whole place is unlivable. The stench alone could kill a horse. And there's no way that anything in this place is safe to eat. Blah. I know, but it'll be over in a second. After confirming Kunal's identity, I grabbed his wrist to check for a pulse. No pulse. We can go. Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck that was. After braving the biological warfare zone known as Kunal's apartment, Misa and I retreated home post-haste. I mean, it could be that Kunal had different enemies as well, right? That not only Karasu was after him. But the way, I don't know, what does that black goop mean? Like, could it be Adder? Like, Adder has more like advanced technologies as well as advanced weapons, you know? They have advanced weaponry, meaning they could kill people in ways that for us would seem like, what the fuck is that? Like, they could have some sort of weapon that includes that black goop. I don't know exactly how, why, or what, but it could be a possibility. We didn't speak, we didn't eat, and we took no detours. There was only one goal in each of our minds from the moment we walked into that loathsome apartment. get clean. We both stripped down to our underwear, paying modesty and embarrassment alike no mind, then headed to the bathroom. Really? At this point in time, we've been in here for quite a while now, scrubbing each other's backs in a desperate attempt to kill the odor Kunal cursed us with. Perhaps thanks to her thick clothing and minimal time inside, Misa was able to rid herself of the odor promptly, meaning most of our time was spent trying to clean yours truly. Although it took a while for our efforts to yield any results, Misa and I kept at it. We both scrubbed my body without rest, stripping me of ample skin as the smell gradually began to disappear. Clean as a whistle and smelling like a flower, I accompanied Misa to the usual drop-off point. Thanks to our combined tenacity, we were able to rid my body of Kunal's post-mortem curse, making our trip no less pleasant than usual. As one could guess by the plastic bag in Misa's hand, however, there was still one minor variation to our usual return. What is she wearing? With her own clothes still putrid, and knowing that my sister would notice if her clothes went missing, we had no choice but to dress Misa up in some of mine. That's why it looked so oversized. While my clothes were obviously big enough for her, Misa had been fidgeting uncomfortably ever since she put them on, making me wonder if she was worried about how her father would react, or if she was simply embarrassed. I would have liked to have helped Misa out here, but at the same time, I really don't see any point in making a big deal out of this. She'll be able to change into some of her own clothing soon enough, and her father will understand. Even if Misa is embarrassed to wear my clothing, it's nothing she can't handle. Upon arriving in the meeting room, one presence had preempted our arrival. Ah, Misa, there you are. What on earth are you? Don't get the wrong idea. It's not what you think. You two have a full-on week. Preparation for Adder, nightly combat training, and yet you... What's wrong, Sai? Oh ho ho ho! Now this is what I'm talking about. Congratulations, you two. I'd hoped from the beginning that you would find happiness together. What, Karasu? It's not even like that. Make sure to invite me to the wedding. Don't give them any ideas. I'm telling you, it's not what you think. Look. Huh? Smell them. Oh, Lord. What is that? How on earth did you get Misa's clothes to smell like that? How indeed? Oh my god. Oi! I'm not the one who made them smell like that. It was an occupational hazard. We paid Kunal a visit and walked right into that. I see. So that's it. Why didn't you just say so? Phew, that was close. Good thing he didn't ask about how we got clean. But you're both clean now, right? Did the two of you take turns bathing? Or... Karasu! You're asking kind of the important questions, but not the one that Sai should know about. God damn you, Karasu! I told you, stop putting ideas in their heads. Anyway, Suoh, Misa, I take it if that means your first target for the week has been taken care of? Yeah, you could say that. Though if it's alright with you, I think we should skip training tomorrow night. We won't have any time to take out our remaining targets and return before training begins. That's fine. I'm quite busy myself, you know. Hey now, don't I get a say in this? Do you object? I'm going to borrow Sai for a second. Placing his hand on Sai's back, Karasu escorted the man out of earshot, leaving Misa and I alone in the meeting room. Any idea what that was about? She don't know either. What part of this could Karasu possibly object to? We're just asking for one night without training. Did he have something special in mind for tomorrow night? Alright, you can both take tomorrow night off if you work doubly hard the next day, right? However, your training from Thursday onwards will be more intense than usual. I knew it. Karasu was right. We can't afford to miss too many nights of training. The adder break-in may seem like it's still far away, but we can't afford to relax just yet. I need you both in top physical form. Ah, so that's what this is about. Alright, I understand. Good. I wouldn't want you to approach your mission unprepared after all. I mean, you do want your old home back, don't you? Yeah, of course. With my home on the table, it's not like I can afford to refuse. Then give it your best. Do well, and I'll even throw in a bonus. I'll look forward to hearing about your progress. Leaving after a subtle threat, and perhaps his notion of motivation, Karasu left the three of us alone once more. Try to understand. Adder poses a significant threat to Karasu's business. If we succeed, he'll finally have an edge over them. But if we fail, Karasu's foothold in this town will continue to slip. We may even need to relocate. I know you don't want to move again, but if we are unsuccessful, then it's a distinct possibility. What? Wait! If you guys relocate, then what happens to me? You may be new, but you're quite capable. You'll improve over time. As such, if at all possible, Karasu would like to keep you on board. However, I'm not entirely unsympathetic. I know how much strife moving can put on a family through, especially one that's already broken. I wouldn't force you to come with us, and I don't think Karasu would either. The choice would be yours. No way. Am I hearing this right? All I have to do is fail the mission? And I'm free? I'd finally be able to choose my own path. No strings attached, while retaining all of the money I earned while working for Karasu. I thought he liked this job, right? Why does he suddenly think like this? I'd be able to get a regular job, wait out my inheritance, and truly give Sara a normal life. I mean, I guess I can sort of understand it, because at that moment when he took the job, he was desperate for money, right? Kind of. And he was like, oh, well, this is a job I'm good at, I don't mind doing it, and it gives me a lot of money. So you know, seems like a pretty good solution, or current, like, temporary solution for the current situation. But now that he has pretty much enough money to, as he said, get a regular job and wait out his inheritance, and then he doesn't have to put his sister in danger anymore, or, you know, live a normal life with her, I can sort of understand. But I thought he was really, like, he wasn't doing this job just for the money. Like, he actually enjoyed both just the what he was doing with the job and I don't know, everything else. But so this seems like a little bit of a shock that he suddenly thinks like this, or he's like, yes, I can get free. Like, he was just waiting for an opportunity to become free. But I've never had that feeling or sense from him before, that he wanted to be free. That he just, I don't know, it feels a little bit strange. But if I did that, although I'd regain my freedom, I'd lose the most lucrative job I'll ever get, as well as one of the most lenient bosses. On top of that, I might never see Misa again. Yeah, I know. Suoh, if you're that worried about relocating, then I have a proposal for you. A proposal? Most people in our line of work are transient. They either don't have a home to begin with, or they're away, working often enough that they might as well not even have one. In our case, most work takes place in or around Richmond. The furthest we usually need to go is 1 or 2 towns over. Because of that, and thanks to Karasu's partial ownership of this town, there is no need for us to have conventional homes. If you're tired, stay at one of Karasu's hotels. If you're hungry, eat at one of his restaurants. Use your position by his side to your advantage. That's actually an option? We can do that? And he doesn't mind? Of course not. Karasu is the one who came up with the idea. That does sound practical, and it would be cheaper than my current lifestyle. So, what do you think? All you'd need to do is send your sister to a boarding school, ditch your lease, and let this city cater to all of your needs. So then he basically doesn't have a permanent place to stay, but he has everything that he needs at his disposal wherever he wants. But yeah, the downside of that is that we need to cut ties with Sara. Wait a second, you want me to send Sara to a boarding school? She is the reason why you need a home to return to, is she not? She'll have the peace and stability she needs within a nurturing, educational environment, and you'll be free to go wherever, and to do whatever you want. That's not a point I can argue. If Sara were to stay at a boarding school, the staff there would look after her. She'd have everything she needs, and none of the danger my work brings. She wouldn't have to cook or clean. She wouldn't have to shop. Her life would actually be pretty similar to what it was like before our parents died. Even so, but I can't just leave her. I understand that you don't want to let your sister go, but think about what's best for her. Do you really think your sister is happy with things the way they are? While I knew there was some truth to what Sai was saying, the more he pushed me, the more agitated I felt. Having someone with as broken a family as his telling me how to fix mine, callously disregarding my sister's happiness as though it was irrelevant. You're the last person who should be lecturing me on my family's happiness. What was that? Do you really think my sister would be happier if we never saw one another? Or if we had no home to return to? It's not about what makes her happiest. It's about her own well-being and education. Like withdrawing Misa from school and denying her a real home? Oh, Suoh, don't do this to Sai. Don't stand up to Sai like that. That's not how it is. He's making it personal now. Where am I wrong, huh? Misa is like us. She already has a job, and she doesn't need further education. Who are you trying to convince here? Misa isn't like us. She may be shy around strangers, but she craves social activity and excitement. She wants to go outside and make friends, not kill whoever her father tells her to. Don't presume to know my daughter better than I do. Don't you presume to know my sister better than I do. Oh. As the argument between Sai and I grew more intense, Misa threw herself into the fray, keeping us both at arm's length as she desperately tried to break us apart. Caught up in our bickering, neither one of us showed any concern for the subject herself, standing only a few feet away. But as her father and partner continued to fight over her supposed best interests, Misa saw only one peaceful ending. Neither Sai nor I had anticipated Misa's intervention, but above all, I never expected to see her in tears. The cool, calm, professional Misa, the energetic girl I frequently escorted around the city, the swordswoman who cut me with such grace and ease, was crying. She could break into a person's home without batting an eyelid, kill strangers at her father's whim, even live with this disturbing lifestyle. Yet the sight of her father and I fighting proved too much to bear. It's okay, sweetie. We weren't fighting. Yeah, we were just worried, you know. Misa's tears slowed down, but refused to stop completely. In a way, it was heart-wrenching watching such a happy, energetic girl break down like that. Maybe it's my brotherly instinct, but seeing Misa like this, All I can think about is pulling her head to my chest until she finally calms down. But she isn't Sara, and I have no idea how Misa would respond to me embracing her. Every logical thought going through my mind is telling me to fight the instinctive urge I have to console her, to hug her tight until her tears dry up. And yet, when I see her like this... Suoh, I think you should go now. We'll continue this discussion later. That's right. The best thing I can do right now is leave. No matter how well I feel I know Misa, Sai is the one who knows her best. He knows what's best for her. If I can leave her in the care of her father, then I should have no regrets. Oh my god. I never expected to see that sight, ever. Misa crying? What? Though later than usual, I dropped Misa off and returned home, at which point I was intercepted by my forgiving sister, Sara. She asked no questions about where I had been, why I was late, or what I had been doing. Instead, she greeted me with a cheery mood, as though she'd been happily awaiting my return. I thought it was faint at first, but with Sara lulling me into a false sense of security before she could drop a bombshell. But as the day dragged on, Sara's routine saw no variation, and I grew less suspicious. What is her with this wearing? Oh no, that's the school uniform, right? Dinner will be ready in half an hour or so. Just go back to watching TV. I'll let you know when it's ready. No need to tell me twice. I could get used to this. Plenty of money, a beautiful girl, who's our sister, cooking for me while I watch TV, a job I enjoy. It doesn't get any better than... Unless, of course, you'd rather fill in the time some other way? Just as I was beginning to relax, Sarah's expression suddenly shifted, revealing a wicked smirk. Uh-oh, why are the thorny vines showing up of our sickness? Her demeanor changed drastically, exuding an uncomfortable feeling unlike anything I usually sense from her. Some... other way? What? Don't play dumb. You know what I'm talking about. What the hell? What happened to Sarah's clothes? Two teenagers, each of the opposite sex, all alone together at night. This can't be real. Sara would never. Come on. What are you waiting for? You're hungry, aren't you? Eat me right up. Hey, are you listening to me? What? Come on. Dinner's getting cold. Pry yourself away from the TV for a minute. Oh, that was the sickness. What the hell? Wasn't I just in a kitchen? And how did Sara... Oh no! Not this again.